Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on Action Taimanin. Today, we're gonna check how to play with Azuma. But before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, Azuma is the latest character to get added into the game, and she is very unique. She is the first dual element character that we have because she's gonna abuse Burn and Electrocute. Burn is a status effect that is going to deal an extra bit of damage based on the damage of the skill that inflicted burn. So that's good for a damage dealer. And Electrocute is going to do kind of the same, not like the same, but the important part about Electrocute is that while it's on the enemy, it's going to reduce their defense, and then it's going to deal a little bit of damage. So yeah, just by hearing this, you can know that Azuma is going to be a really, really powerful character. Not only that, she has other unique traits to her. So we're gonna check them all. Let's start with her typing. She's suppressed human, pretty easy to support, honestly. Like, not the most busted color or trait, but definitely there's a good amount of supporters that can enhance these traits. As for the weapons, Asuma is gonna be using bats. She's not sharing weapons with Francis, unfortunately. So you're gonna want to grab the PvP weapons. Her gacha weapon, while it seems appealing, I honestly do not recommend rolling for that one because it's gonna fall off pretty quickly. And if you buy her pack, her onslaught, her ambitious weapon is just busted. It's definitely worth using demonites on this item, especially with the anniversary. Honestly, that's the only reason why I'm recommending getting the pack. But anyways, let's go to the skills. So first, the unique skill or leader skill, Kamimura type weaponry. If enemy nearby are inflicted with burn, attack increases by 15%. If enemy nearby are inflicted with electrocute, attack increases by 15%. Apply one time per debuff up to 30%. So you can get up to 30% attack up in two different buffs with combined, both of them are gonna be 30% attack up, and they are pretty unique buffs, let's say, because they don't go in the standard color of a buff. Usually a buff goes on green, but these are gonna be kind of red orange ish, and the other one is blue to identify when an enemy is nearby with this debuff, which is interesting. As I already mentioned, these two debuffs, these two elements, are extremely good at damage dealing, so this is great for Azuma. But not only she has set a new standard being a dual type element user, but also she changes weapons. She has her bat, sure, but she's gonna change her bat into either a greatsword or a spear, depending on the skill that you are using and the set effect. Sometimes the set effect also affect that. And right now, it is not as important which weapon you're using. Bat, greatsword, or spear, unless you're using the ambitious weapon. But probably in the future, it's gonna matter. Just let me tell you that it's not unlikely that devs consider expanding on this specific mechanic. Then, let's check the skills. Fire God's Tengshe Spear. So this is the basic enhancer. Melee attack enhances basic attack, transforming the weapon into a spear during attacks. Increases damage by 10%, increases damage by an additional 20%, and increases particle charge amount by 50% with one supporter, two supporters, or three supporters. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now that this is not useful at all. I tried using a particle charge build, and the issue is that Azuma is really slow. She has a good amount of multi hits, so when she uses her skills, the skills don't seem as slow. And they deal a tremendous amount of damage, so that's fine. But the basic enhancer, on the other hand, it is not great. Not even with the speed increase, it's good. So keep that in mind. Then, Fire God Panlong. I'm gonna just say Panlong because there's a ton of Fire God skills. Well, two Fire God skills. No, three Fire God. Yep, three Fire God skills. So Panlong over here is going to be a melee attack. During normal attacks, hold attack, 8-second cooldowns, slams the ground with her weapon, dealing a stun attack, and transform her weapon into a spear. Swings her flaming spear in a wide arc, dealing an additional attack and inflicts the enemy with burn. This is the pure color skill that you're gonna use on any color. So with 3 green, increases damage by 30% for 10 seconds. With 3 blue, transform the weapon into a great sword and inflicts electrocute on the enemies instead of burn. 3 red, increase the area of attack by 50%. Honestly, all of these effects are pretty good, particularly the green one. But there is a catch with the green one, and that's the weapon typing. Unfortunately, if you use the ambition weapon, it has a particular trait which makes you want to use spears, and it is difficult to make a build on green if you want to use the ambitious weapon and have its particular effect proc. So we're gonna see that in a couple moments. So let's just go on. And the next one is Fire God Bifang. Bifang is a melee attack, hold attack, 14-second cooldown. This is the first pure color skill, and it's the critical rate one. So transform her weapon into a spear, deals an area attack ahead, and inflicts burn on the enemy. 1 green increases area of attack by 80%. 2 green adds 2 additional attacks. 3 green increases critical rate by 50%. So, even though this attack, in general, the attacks that have critical rate are kind of the weakest because they have the highest base damage, because they don't have multipliers. And in theory, it should be weak, but honestly, it is really strong. And it's not because of the attack per se, but rather all the mechanics that come into play when using Azuma. So even though you might think I'm never gonna use this, Azuma fortunately is one of those characters who works on any color, but she doesn't like to go rainbow, so keep that in mind. The next one, Thunder God Tuo Fei. Tuo Fei over here is a melee attack, hold the bait, 12-second cooldown, transform her weapon into a greatsword, deals an area attack 2 times, then an additional attack ahead, and inflicts electrocute on the enemy. 1 blue pulls the enemy towards the character, 2 blue increases area attack by 50%, 3 blue increases skill damage by 150%. Pretty nice, pretty good. And you can see we have 1 that is fire, 1 that is thunder. But if you notice, this is blue, and this Panlong is going to be using thunder on blue. So here is where things start to get a little bit convoluted. You have to be good at building your character, because otherwise you're only going to have a 15% damage increase rather than the 30. So keep that in mind. Then Thunder God Longma. So Longma is a melee attack, dash attack, 10-second cooldown, transform her weapon into a greatsword, swings the sword covered in electricity to deal damage, to deal a knock-up attack. So this is the rainbow skill. 1 green restores HP by 5% of damage inflicted. 1 blue electrocutes the enemy for 9 seconds. 1 red makes the enemy groggy. The red one is not important, but the green and blue are pretty impactful. So you definitely want to use this skill on either a mixed build or pure builds for green and blue. Maybe for red on arena, but all in due time. Then we have Fire God Huoshu. Hushu. I think that's the way. So for Hushu over here, we have melee attack, dash, hold dash, and 9-second cooldown. Transform her weapon into a spear, deals an area attack in the surrounding area, and inflicts burn on the enemy. 1 red increases the area attack by 50%. 2 red as 3 additional attacks. 3 red increase critical damage by 250%. So yeah, this one is super strong and pretty easy to use on top of that. So yeah, you definitely want to go pure with this character. And you may have noticed that it doesn't say that it has super armor. Most of Azuma's skills have some amount of super armor, yes, but the catch is that when she's preparing to deal the attack, she can get interrupted. So yeah, that's a thing. Careful with that. Then let's hope that in the future, when she receives her renewal or buff or whatever, she gets super armor at least on her pure color skills, like on every part of the skill. Well, then we have Purple Haze. Purple Haze is not a melee attack. It is an extreme dodge. Immediately before the enemy attack dodge, 14-second cooldown. After an extreme dodge, heightens her senses to the fullest, increasing fortitude by 20%. So fortitude is basically a chance to ignore damage. It is a pseudo invincibility, which is nice, but just so that you know, that chance goes up to 60%. You don't have like 100% chance to ignore damage. You will be totally invincible with that. So yeah, and while this is good, it is not impactful enough, honestly. It would have been better if she gained invincibility just like that. Then this skill would be usable, but with fortitude, it's like you have a chance to demolish the stage or get deleted. So yeah, not the greatest. So this is the skill that goes on the main, and honestly, it's not that great of a skill because of that. So with main green, the duration increases by 2 seconds. With main blue, increases fortitude by an additional 30%, an additional 10%, making it 30%. And with main red, increases speed by 10% for 6 seconds. And as I mentioned, the speed increase is not great for her basics, but it's pretty useful for her skills, just so that you know. While I say that she's slow, she's not Murasaki levels of slow, but she does feel sluggish. And the speed increase is nice, not necessary, but nice on her skills. Just that. Then, Heavenly Demon Slayer, Yinglong. So, Yinglong is a follow-up attack. Melee attack immediately after attack, dodge, 3-second cooldown, transforms her weapon into a spear, teleports in the air, and deals a diving attack. When a slot effect is applied, inflict the enemy with burn. 2 green, increase skill damage by 25%. 2 blue, increase speed by 10% for 6 seconds. 2 red, increase the area of attack by 25%. So, let me tell you, this skill is pretty good because it deals burn, because it's easy to activate. I won't say it's spammable. The trait about follow-up attacks is that they go after another attack. So this 3-second cooldown is deceiving. The only issue that I have is that the set effects are pretty unimpressive for the most part. I mean, the damage increase is nice, and that's about it. Like, everything else is kind of unimpressive. Um, Honestly, if Gregory considers doing the rework for this one, I suggest that they add more impactful effects. Maybe a defense down, maybe HP recovery on blue. Like, it would be nice because this burns, and you could do this, and this, and you have electrocute, burn, and you also heal. That would be actually good. So then we have Thunder God Quinui. Quinui. That's difficult to say. So, melee attack, double dash, 8-second cooldown, transform her weapon into a greatsword, performs a dash attack, inflicts the enemy with electrocute, and with 2 green increases critical rate by 20%, with 2 blue increases defense by 20% for 10 seconds, with 2 red increases speed by 20% for 10 seconds. So this one is kind of weak. I mean, the main trait of this one is going to be applying electrocute, but other than that, the buffs are not that impressive. As I mentioned, while the speed increase and the defense increase are nice at that 20%, they don't feel as impactful. As I mentioned, the speed increase is an added benefit to the speed of the skills, not the basics, and the defense is okay, but as you may have noticed, Azuma is not that great at the healing department. And the critical rate, it is particularly nice right now because we don't have that many customs and she's lacking stats by comparison. She's not guaranteed to crit just yet. When she starts receiving customs, she will be able to crit very easily. So, but for now, it is just fine. Anyways, this skill is not that impressive. Then we have Heavenly Demon Slayer Quilin. Quilin over here is another follow-up attack. And again, for Azuma, it is not that difficult to activate the follow-up attacks. It's a melee attack, immediately after attack dash, 3-second cooldown, transform her weapon into a greatsword, channels energy in the greatsword, and a powerful slash downwards, dealing a charge attack. When the slot effect is applied, inflicts the enemy with electrocute, which is amazing that it has a follow-up attack for burn and another one for electrocute. That's super great on the design. But then, 2 green increases skill damage by 25%, 2 blue increases the area of attack by 30%, 2 red increases defense by 10% for 6 seconds. Yeah, we can start to see the issues on Azuma's design. So, number 1, she's kind of slow. Like, for the skills it doesn't matter, but for her basics it does. She has small issues with super armor, in regards that she can be interrupted when she's starting to use her skills, so careful there. She has little healing, so she's a glass cannon, and it's difficult to build her bulky, just so that you know. It's just easier to heal, but okay. And then she has some pretty unimpressive skills, like similar to Micah. She's her sister, of course. She's gonna have those kind of issues. So half her kit is amazing, and half her kit is either unimpressive or trash. Well, these 2 skills are well designed on the activation condition and the animation, the way the attack is performed, but the set effects are unimpressive. And I understand that whenever we have follow-up attacks, they cannot make them extremely busted because they're spammable, quotations. I mean, it is not as spammable as they think, but it is what it is. So let's hope that these 2 skills get a buff and these 2 skills get... I mean, this doesn't need to be reworked, it only needs to change the set effects. And this dose needs to get reworked. Honestly, there's little... No, not this one, not Logma. Haze dose needs to get reworked. It is... Not impressive. Well, now let's do a couple runs. So I'm gonna be using the ambitious weapon, which I have at 5 out of 5 and plus 15, thanks to the anniversary mostly, honestly, and the new campaigns that give us um, demonite fragments. So that's pretty good. Thanks to that, I'm able to have this weapon, but otherwise I would have avoided the pack. So the weapon is 5 out of 5 and plus 15, both of them. The Magatama's critical damage and water element, whatever attack Magatama's on the sub slot. Fire God Hushu, Thunder God Queen Yu, difficult to say these names, and Palong. So Palong for the burn, Hushu for the damage, and Q for the electrocute. I could change Q for Quilin, but honestly, the defense isn't that important, so that's why I avoid it. As for the supporters, I'm using Azusa over here, I'm using Bareta, and I'm using Fuyutsuki. If you don't have Azusa, don't worry, there's a way better option. Fortunately, despite the issues on her design and her lack of HP recovery, she has the color that needs HP recovery, and that's green. Because blue has Massacre Kunai and red has Susune. Technically, there's always healing options, but I'm talking about meta healing options, effective healing options. And you can just substitute Asusa with Susune because she's always going to give her the damage increase thanks to the particular abilities of Azuma. And just so that you know, the weapon, I'm just going to read the part that says when attacking with a spear heals the character equal to 5% of damage inflicted. So that part is what really matters about this. And I'm using spear attacks. Palong is a spear attack unless you go blue. And this is greatsword, and this is a spear too. So I have two spear attacks, so I have healing. As for the formation effects, I'm using Home Alone with the Cannoneer Warrior and the Fortune Teller and Halloween Expedition team. So let's go with that super quickly. Honestly, it's not that difficult to beat any stage. And you might think he's using an ambitious weapon. Of course, he's gonna be busted. No, guys, this character is busted. This character is really busted. You don't need the ambitious weapon. It is better to have the ambitious weapon, yes, because this particular ambitious weapon, honestly, I think is the most busted ambitious weapon that we have had. And that's saying a lot. Because Ragnar's weapon is really good. But this one, Onslaught, is just disgustingly good. Okay, since you won't let me, I'm just gonna do this. And yeah, it's double dash. Take this. And healing. Yeah, I love healing. There we go. So, oof. Just like that. Honestly, this character is beyond busted. It is so good. But it is not perfect. And I'm gonna talk about that at the very end. So, keep that in mind. You might be incentivized to get it right away, but if you don't have the demonites to enhance her ambitious weapon, I do not suggest getting the pack. Honestly, the pack, basically they're selling us the weapon. Unfortunately, they give us a decent amount, well, at least now, of demonite and nanomachines. Well, at least they give us a certain amount. Before they didn't give us nothing until the anniversary. That was the only thing. And yeah, some permanent content that doesn't repeat the rewards. So yeah, you can see how good she is. She's just disgustingly broken. Yeah, yeah, as to be expected. Unlike Kara. Yeah, well, let's go with the next color. And we're gonna go green. And in fact, I'm gonna change that. So the weapons are gonna be the same. And for green, we're gonna be using Fire God Bifang with Longma and Palong. Palong is gonna be. Oh yeah, here is the issue. So this is a great sword. This is a spear, and this is a spear. Oh no, no. I thought that these were great swords. No, no, no. So sometimes, depending on your build, you may have issues if you have the ambitious weapon because you may be using only great sword attacks and you don't have healing. Fortunately, like we can rely on green on Longma if you're doing a green build to have healing. But if not, use the corresponding supporters, I tell you. So instead of Longma, I'm gonna put which one? Wait a moment. This is burn. This is burn. I need electrocute. Either this one or I think yeah, Queen U. Queen U is gonna be easier. And I'm gonna change this. It gives me a small healing. What do I have? I can just put this on the main and put the classic combination of Suruga. Because it is not required, honestly. Like, as I mentioned, if you give her a ton of damage multipliers, she's gonna be too busted, guys. So, oh, I forgot. Stats of the customs, as I mentioned, she has few customs right now, and I don't have them all, so of course she's gonna have few stats and stats of her stat training. Oh, and of course the awakening. The awakening is gonna be very impactful, guys. Especially the defensive ones. Do not ignore the defensive ones. Those are the first that you need to get. So, yeah. Anyways, let's do the run. So, in this case, it is not that hard. We start by using Palong, followed by Kunyu, and then we use Bifang. And that's the combo, guys. That's the combo. So, Palong, Kunyu, Bifang. Hey, woof. And just like that, the enemies are gone. Kunyu. Oof. Okay, you're annoying there. Bifang. Yeah, in this case I don't need like to do the combo in the right order because there is no boss. But now I do this one and I do and I just need healing. Yeah. Fortunately, her attack is a spear. Her main green is a spear, so I have healing with the weapon. But you can infer that she would be struggling if I wasn't using this. So if you don't get her weapon, perhaps you want to put some amount of damage reduction. And of course a healing active or an invincibility active, though, but healing is better in my opinion. Though in green she doesn't need it because she has the ability to heal naturally. Okay, that's not the order, but still I can do it. I'm just gonna heal and done. And I'm gonna use the ultimate with the mobs because they don't matter. Easy peasy. Yeah, this character is just too broken, guys. But don't get fooled. Don't get fooled. I have max awakenings and that is a whole difference, guys. So, on blue, On blue, we're gonna use Palong again. Palong is the busted kit, so we always use Palong. Then 12A, and lastly, we're gonna use Yinglong, as I mentioned, the Thunder Fire combo. You want to use this kind of combination on your skills so that you guarantee that you have the most damage. Then we have Massacre Kunai, which I can use the active because let's see, if I'm not mistaken, this is a great sword, this is a great sword on blue, and this is a spear. Yeah, I can use the active because I do have healing, but otherwise, if I didn't have the ambitious weapon, you just want this to become tanky and have regen, and be smart about your HP. Then I have Bright Dana Rose over here and Azusa. Azusa I have for the penetration, not exactly for the speed increase. We are going to notice an improvement on her speed, but as I mentioned, it's more significant on the skills rather than the basics. So yeah, in case you don't have that one, you can just equip anything. Like even an Azuma is good enough. So well, let's do this. And we're missing one more build because she can go mix, but there's basically only one good combination for mix. And I burn and thunder there, and then Palong, Yinglong, and oi, and there we go. Palong, yeah, Yinglong, and Tuofei. There. It is good to have some way to heal, honestly. It's... I was just thinking about it. Without healing, this character can be really frail. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So do consider getting either the weapon or investing your tickets and resources right now on the anniversary on getting your Suzunes, your what's the name? Massacre Kunai, because you definitely want to have those on your account. They are so important. I mean, they are F2P and semi F2P because the Massacre Kunai is a seasonal. That was campaign and they do not repeat, but it was given to us, most of the copies for free. So yeah, those are nice. Yeah, I start by applying the debuffs and then I just destroyed the enemy like that. And I didn't even need to use the Massacre Kunai. Honestly, it's not that difficult. So yeah, pretty busted. Now let's talk about how to use her on mix. So there's only one viable option, honestly, and that's gonna be green with main blue. Why do I say so? So number one, we cannot use the pure color skills because obviously they're not going to have the benefit, except the green one. The green one only gives critical rate, which we do not need. So we have a good damage with the green one. And then the issue with other colors is that the skills that incentivize mixed builds, as I mentioned, don't have the greatest set effects or anything that we want to abuse. So that's why I do not recommend them. Only the green one. And why? Because if you combine it with blue, you're able to use Electrocute. And you don't even need to put the main blue. You can go with a different main. You can go with green main, depending on your needs and your supporters. And I have Queen New over here just to get more critical rate. Electrocute, burn, and electrocute. So yeah, that's fine. And I have HP recovery, fortunately, so that's a good thing. So I'm using a critical build, and yeah, that's about it. I could even change this one. Let's see, increase penetration against stunned enemies. Okay, I'm gonna keep it just because of the penetration, but you can change it for whichever you want, honestly. Uh, the order doesn't matter, as I mentioned. We are not using the skill that procs on main, so that's the thing. Yeah, it is unfortunately that she's not uh, one of those rainbow characters or a character who likes to go mix. But on the other hand, she's just busted on pure colors. So I can accept that. Yeah, and you can see how slow she is. So let's see, what is the... Ah, it's double dash. That was it, yeah. And kaput. Double dash. Yeah, the damage. Just the combination of using, of having too many buffs with the electrocute. It was such a great decision because, as I mentioned, the electrocute is a kind of defense down, so you're increasing your damage even further. Let's hope that they don't start to mix elements like crazy and they decide to go with terrible combinations. Like, this is very well designed, but at the same time, it is an experimental character, guys. Like, this is the first time they do this, and they also change weapons of the character in question. So that's a lot to take in. It is a complex character that is not extremely difficult to use. You just have to be aware of what you do with your build. If you know that, then you can use this character pretty easily. But if you just mash the skills into any set and try to go with the most damaging supporters, you might find that she struggles because you want the right synergies. Otherwise, she's just gonna have issues with the HP and the damage. Because imagine you just go with electrocuting skills. You're not gonna have the most damage. Wow. Yep. And no boss beans ultimate. There. Nice, nice, nice. So, yeah, pretty simple. But we're not done just yet. We gotta talk about... Oh, we gotta talk about her capabilities in Total War. So, not Total War, sorry, VR. She is a great character, and there's three characters that you want to use. Well, two characters that you want to use with her. One is, of course, Rin, because she electrocutes. The other one is Micah, because she inflicts burn with her leader skill. And there's also Astaroth, but she doesn't excel at burn. She's missing her leader skill for that. So, yeah. Right now, basically, we have two. And the thing about VR is that, as usual, we're not incentivized to crit. So, we don't want to go either green or red. And we're locked to blue. And that means that we want to electrocute the enemy. Or we are going to electrocute the enemy. So, the one supporter that we want is Micah. Basically. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, she has to go mono on team content right now. I tested her on Total War, and she's kind of unimpressive. Honestly, that's bad. Like, due to her speed, she struggles in that kind of content, which is interesting. Um, but um, when we receive more team content, where we are able to crit, she will have more teammates and more builds. But right now, it's basically this. You put Azuma and Micah. And that's it. And any supporter that you want, depending on your needs. In my case, I put Tokiko because I can go extremely aggressive. Let's start with the formation. I have the mischievous one to increase damage dealt to machines. I have penetration of range attacks. No, or well, I didn't change them, so I'm gonna go with X Nisha 8s because that's a generic damage increase, and we need another form of generic damage increase. There is one that enhances both melee and range, and I don't remember which was it. But I do remember it has Sasagi, I think. Let's see, can I find it? Can I find it? Increase damage dealt with humans. Well, technically I'm all human, but I don't think so. With human characters. And reduce their damage. 10 can increase. I mean, I get more benefit out of this. Because this is damage increase for both range and melee, and this is the same but separate. So, well, let's see. Is it the correct ones? Yes. So, let's check the other characters. So, Micah is going to be using, of course, Riot Weapon 10-9 because obviously we're fighting machines. But you can always change this one for X71 Deep Impact because it's just that busted. Or if you want, you can use a bit stick. Honestly, a bit stick is good enough on BR. But on other kind of content, the Momochi weapon is good. And well, anti-machine with Magatamas, whatever Magatamas on the subslot, weapons 5/5 and plus 15, ruthless explosion for the defense down, death from above just to deal damage, and carpet bombing to protect herself from incoming enemies. We have Susune for healing and damage increase. We have Yuki for damage increase. We have Fuyusuki because there are mobs on the stage and that gives us a ton of damage increase. Stats of the customs, stat training. Then we have Tokiko. Tokiko, of course, uses Mechanical Dart to reduce the defense of the enemy. With whatever attack Magatamas against machine, whatever element, whatever attack Magatamas on the subslot. Both weapons 5/5 and plus 15. The skills, honestly, you just need Magpipe and Clairvoyance. You can omit Autumn Wind if you don't want it, but I just put it to have something else. This one is the super supporter, so obviously we're gonna use Mirabelle, and we're gonna change this. You can use this if you are going to take a while on the stage, but if you know that you can demolish this stage, just equip this one, Lapis, and you can go with something like Felicia, because that's gonna give her a ton of damage. Stats of the customs, stat training, and lastly, we have Azuma. Of course, she's gonna use the same weapons, but the Magatamas are anti-machine electric. Then we have Tuofe, Palong, and Queen Yu. Because we have to focus on electrocuting the enemy, because Mike is already dealing with the burn. Then we use Kurenai to get buffs and don't explode whenever our HP goes below 50%. Kana to take advantage of the buffs, and Urihara Rin that give us a chance to break super armor and give us a decent amount of damage. Let's see, if it's 5/5, it's gonna be 14, 42% damage increase if you have a team of humans. That's nice, or demons. So yeah, that's pretty good. So anyways, stats of the customs, stat training, and let's do the run. I think I'm not missing anything, so yeah. So we start by gathering the enemies ASAP, and then we use our skill. We use Palong because of the big AoE, and then we just... Oh! Whoa. Okay, that was unfortunate because I was I I have the microphone in front of me. I didn't check that that thing was casting the the bullet storm. But okay, I'll do it again. I do it again. So one more time. Does my active also inflict thunder? I don't remember. I guess it does. I guess it does. I can start with that one. And if I'm not mistaken, well, yeah, it does. And I just deal a tremendous amount of damage, as you can see. We're gonna do this in under a minute. I can tell you that right now. I mean, oh wait, they have the super armor for blue, and well, they don't have it for red, so that's good. 12A to deal good damage. And I just electrocute and 12A. And just like that, it's done. Pretty simple, pretty easy. Yeah, step 400 and we manage with the new character. Yeah, the weapon does help on challenging content, but consider that the weapon specializes against demons, and these are machines. So, yeah, that's busted. That's a busted character. So, very quickly, let's check her weapons. So, over here we have her weapons, and Azuma has some worth noting weapons. So increases normal attacks, terrible because her normal attacks are really awful. Then we have Ratio. Ratio is good because it's an anti-trait weapon. The anti-traits we like, and the critical damage increase we also like. So you can build it pretty F2P thanks to this. If you roll on her panel, which I do not recommend, just go with the PP weapons, those are better. Onslaught. Busted. You should get if you're willing to spend the demonites. Otherwise, avoid the pack. So, increases unique skill effectiveness by 20%. That's the leader skill. Up to 40%. Increases skill damage by 50%. Up to 30%. Increase an additional 10 against demon type enemies. That doesn't vary at all. It's always 10. When attacking with greatsword skills, inflict damage equal to 5% of enemy's current HP. When attacking a demon type enemy, inflicts 10% instead every 5 seconds. When attacking with a spear skill, heals the character HP equal to 5% of the damage inflicted upon attack. When attacking a demon enemy, additionally reduce the damage taken by 15% for 10 seconds. Every 15 seconds. Busted. Yeah, that's the smell of busted. Okay. The next one is the mileage weapon. I mean, while these are alluring and pretty pay to win, and they are not necessary at all, we have the ultimate weapon. Deceiving. Increases damage by 14% against enemies inflicted with electrocute. And the active. Deal on 3 particles, deals damage equal to 270% equal to up to 540% of attack and inflicts electrocute for 5 seconds. Do not get deceived, guys. I tried a weapon ulti spam build, and she's awful at that. So do not try it, guys. Do not try getting this weapon because it is deceiving. While it gives you a pretty free damage increase, and it's a 28% damage increase, which is not bad. This weapon is gonna get outclassed pretty quickly, trust me. So just wait for her decisive weapon. It's the best option. Then we have the Viridian weapons and the Momochi weapon. You can use the Momochi weapon with her skills, but remember she's slow, so the effect might fall off. Careful with that. I do not recommend using the weapon, though it's a viable option. Not like the most viable thing, but can be done. And that's about it for the weapons. So, let's do a quick review about the character. Should you get this one? Should you get Kamimura Azuma? Not right away. Depends a lot on the strength of your account, honestly. If you already have good awakenings, like defensive awakenings mainly, if you already have supporters with, let's say, enchantment at level 10, at level 12, then consider getting this one. Otherwise, she might explode. While she can demolish easy content like dailies or event, she's gonna struggle on long stages. She's gonna struggle when facing bosses. That's why you want to have some amount of bulk in your account in the awakening and the uh, the supporters. Because if not, she's gonna explode and she's not gonna do anything. She can deal devastating damage, but she could just as easily explode and finish your run. So that's something to take into consideration. As I mentioned, you're gonna feel that half her kit is not as good as the other half. I mean, these two are good, but her set effects are kind of whatever. And Queen Yu, I mean, it is another easy to activate electrocute, but the set effects are again whatever. And these two, well, not that great. Do not worry, even though this character seems intimidated and convoluted due to a plethora of factors like the dual element, the supports that you should be using, the what's the name? The weapon changing factor, it is not as important in most cases. The weapon changing factor right now is only important if you have onslaught. Otherwise, you don't care that much. And I think there's gonna be weapons that take advantage of this quality. I don't think that maybe there's gonna be a seasonal set that change into a different weapon. I don't think so. Maybe it changes the skin of the weapon at most. But we'll see that in the future. And yeah, a couple highlights before I finish. Like, there's gonna be really good supporters to pair with this character. One of them, Uriharin, as you just saw, whenever we are on team battles. Of course, the healing options are super important that I mentioned, but there's also someone like Astaroth that most people do not have. Astaroth has a 10% chance of normal attacks to burn the enemy, and that gets applied every 20 seconds. And it increases damage dealt to burn enemies and reduces damage taken from burn enemies up to 40%. It's 20 to 40, so that's strong. That's really busted. So yeah, it is a great option, honestly. So do consider supporters that give you the ability to burn the enemy or electrocute the enemy. Electrocute is a little bit more difficult to see, honestly, but let's hope that in the future Gremory adds more supporters that have decent effects or good effects that also have a way to inflict these debuffs onto the enemy, either by passives or actives, but I would love to see that. Anyways, that's about it for today. I hope you find this useful, and let me know in the comments what you think about this character. Do you think it's great? Do you think it's awful? Do you think they could have done better? Do you think other characters in the future are gonna be like her, dual types, changing weapons, transforming in some other ways? Let me know in the comments, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!